How do you like to use a simple AI tool to create your very own $1 million business and then flood it with extremely profitable traffic going right to your website? Now, what if this new AI tool could do hours or even days of PhD level work for you, all in just a matter of minutes? Well, that is exactly what I'm about to show you. And it is OpenAI, because they just released a revolutionary new tool that is changing online business forever. This tool is so powerful, I think it will take first-time entrepreneurs from zero to millionaires faster than it was ever possible before. Now, as you continue to watch this video, I'm going to show you how this tool works and why it is so special. And then I'm going to walk you through our special two-stage framework that you can use to have deep research that is OpenAI's tool, and it will build a business for you. Now, in fact, if I were starting from scratch myself with a brand new business, I would be using this tool every single day to help me launch this new business and rocket it to 7 figures fast. Now, one thing I want to let you know, when you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you a special bonus trick. This is something that'll take OpenAI's deep research and turn it into a non-stop profit machine. Follow this extra bonus training, and you're going to see that it will bring you visitors back to your website over and over and over again. And that way, you make way more money with just a tiny bit more effort. So what do you say? Are you ready? Let's dive in. All right, so for this training, I have a special deck prepared filled with resources, tools, prompts, information, links, and a bunch of stuff that you can use to implement this training. It's totally free. If you'd like to download it, I do want to let you know real quick, a quick little plug. If you join our totally free Ingeniosity newsletter, I'll drop a link to that in the description or in the comments below. Go join that newsletter. You'll be able to download this deck completely free. And there it is. So this is the beginning of the deck. And again, it's going to have all the prompts that we use for this training, links, resources, and other materials that will help you implement this faster, better, bigger, and it's well worth it because the price is free. Just go, again, click that link you'll see in the description. Get into our Ingeniosity newsletter. This is our gift to you. Now, for today's training, I'm going to bring on the channel's very own producer, Nick. Are you out there?
Yes, I am.
So what we're going to do today, this is kind of a little bit of team effort. So I'm going to be talking through some of the theory, some of the persuasion and other business elements. And then you're going to do the demo so you can show them live on screen what this looks like when they implement this training themselves.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Well, here we go. This is all about how to use OpenAI's deep research to launch $1 million business. And that's even if you don't have any experience at it. And a big question you might be asking is, why does deep research work? And maybe more importantly, even before we get to that. So deep research is a unique and different new tool or feature. How would you describe it, Nick, that OpenAI just released this?
This is OpenAI's second agent that they released. The first one was Operator, but this agent specializes in searching the web and doing extremely high level, basically PhD level research for whatever you want. It's meant for specialized fields, like if you're a professor or you're in economics or in science, but it's also extremely useful for people who want to launch businesses and make money in those businesses. OpenAI did like a little press release. They say, today we're launching deep research in ChatGPT, a new agentic capability that conducts multi-step research on the internet for complex tasks. It accomplishes in 10 minutes what would take a human many hours. And I'm on X, and I subscribe to a lot of these newsletters and people talking about this. And professionals are talking about how they'll shell out thousands of dollars. They'll spend weeks of work. And this thing is producing content in minutes, what would take basically master's level or PhD level people to take weeks to do.
And to prove that, there is, I
And-
have on the screen now, Humanity's Last Exam. And this is where they're basically demonstrating the depth of knowledge and the depth, well, I guess combined with the research to be able to answer these questions. Anything you want to share about this?
Yeah, Humanity's Last Exam is one of those benchmarks they're using to test basically how smart the different large language models are. And you can see GPT-4o, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, which is another one that's new to the scene. We have a video coming out about DeepSeek because they're great too. But the whole world was gushing about how better DeepSeek was than all of the OpenAI models.
And this is something, just something grabbed from X to provide a little bit more backstory, to give you some idea of how others are using this and their opinions. And here we have somebody saying deep research is the kind of product that quietly rewires entire industries overnight. It's a pretty powerful quote. And if anyone can access highly sophisticated insights and analysis instantly, then traditional notions of authority and credentialism in fields like finance and the gatekeepers, they lose relevance, and knowledge itself becomes hyper commoditized. So in plain English, this levels the playing field for entrepreneurs like you and I, because let's say you have a hobby or an interest or a passion that you want to start a business in. The playing field is now level for you. The same as if somebody had been an expert in that field or a guru in that field, you can put out content and do planning and release and launch and succeed in business and compete with them because of tools like deep research. And you'll see as we keep going, as we continue on with this training, we're going to show you how you can apply this deep research to launch your first business and then grow it and get traffic and scale it up and make money. So that's the whole point of this. And by the way, I know the other thing is, I'm very curious what people think about the pace of advancement of AI. Is anybody getting a little bit freaked out about just how fast AI is becoming smart? I mean, the leaps ahead we've had in just the last 3 months are a little scary. I see people running around afraid that they're going to lose their jobs and all of that. And I'd love to hear from the audience in the comments below. What are your thoughts about the speed of advancement of AI? It seems to be kicking into hyperdrive these days. Some people are very excited. I'm in that camp. I'm not too worried about it. I'm excited because it makes it so much easier for me, my students, and my customers to build businesses quickly. But others are very worried about it and concerned. So I'd love to know, drop your opinion about that in the comments. Hopefully we don't start a fight. I know people get very passionate about this subject, about AI might cost you your job, and other people love it. Some people hate it. Where do you weigh in? Let us know in the comments below.
We got to show this tweet real quick because this is pretty crazy. And there's a ton of people echoing the same exact sentiment. And I apologize to this individual if I'm mispronouncing your name, but Daria, who's an MD, he says, I had deep research do a patent search and then write a patent for a friend's cancer-related discovery. It did a phenomenal job and produced a flawless 25-page patent application that would have cost $10,000. Can vouch for its quality because I've had quite a few patents myself. Isn't that insane?
That's crazy. Yeah, I know. I had a very costly patent that we had to file. Cost me a lot of money. And the humans who did it got it wrong and actually cost me my patent.
This from an MD, from a legit guy, $10,000 in value. Just one application. That's pretty wild.
Okay, cool. So we're breaking this down for you in a 2-stage process. Stage 1 is all about doing market research and doing that deep research yourself for the topics or content or whatever you're going to be doing business about. Anything more you want to talk about this before we dive into the prompts themselves and show them how it works?
Yeah, so the process we're going to use today, it's 2 stages. Stage 1, we're going to use deep research almost like a consultant. We're going to ask it to, we're going to have a conversation with it. We're going to tell it about what we're interested in. Then it's going to help us come up with $1 million business idea. We're basically have McKinsey or like a Bain consultant at our fingertips. They're going to, after this conversation, it's going to go out. It's going to scrape the web. It's going to do this in a matter of minutes, what might take a team to do in like weeks. And what we're going to get out of stage one is we're going to get a table of 20 business ideas that it recommends we move forward with.
And I want to remind everyone that the prompt that you see on the screen, I know right there, it's lengthy and it's going to be very hard for you to just try to copy it down. It's free. We'll just give it to you so you can download that prompt. Just sign up for our newsletter. We'll send it to you. And again, I'll link to that in the description so you can get that prompt, just part of becoming an Ingeniosity subscriber. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
all right. So this is the conversation I initiated with deep research, and it's a pretty beefy prompt if you can't tell. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm saying, please act as a business advisor, expert market researcher, and online offer creation guru. I want to start an online business in the pet market. But besides that, I don't really know what sort of business to launch. So then I go into what we want to do. And now it's going to ask me 5 questions about what I want to do with this business. And here are the 5 questions. Do you have any particular skills? Are you more interested in products or services, et cetera, et cetera? I answer the question. I tell it I have a particular interest in dog behavior, but I'm open to other options. I have a background in e-commerce, which is true. I did about $500,000 in sales during the lifespan of that business, but I'd like to ascend my ecom customers into a more high ticket offer like coaching or maybe some sort of business. Um, then it asked me about time commitment. It asked me about how much money I'm willing to commit up front. And
I have a question for you.
then it
So
asked me
I
how
have a
much
question for you.
active.
So in this
Yeah,
case, you're kind of prompting it with your business experience. But what if someone doesn't have any business experience?
yeah, you would just tell it up front. It's very good at helping people who are complete beginners. You don't have to be a guru. You don't have to have any experience to apply this
So you just
framework.
explain that then in your answer
And
in what you put there, right?
yes, exactly. I answered all of its 5 questions. Then it got to work. You can see here, it's already done. But you see here, it said the research session it took, it said it did it in 19 minutes and it looked at 16 sources. And if you click this, we can kind of see step by step what it did. It's explaining its thought
That's
process.
a lot of work. So
It
it
tells you,
found 16 sources,
yeah,
analyzed them, decided how they're applicable to your situation, and then did its analysis. That's impressive.
and part of what it did like economic market research. It pulled up economic data and it said the global pet care market is rapidly expanding with a CAGR of 6.1%.
Wow. Look at all
So
that
here, I'll
research.
scroll down
Yeah.
very quickly because it did a lot of work.
So let's see what it came back with.
First, it made me like a comprehensive report breaking down the market and what it thinks I should do. The live stream would take hours for me to read the whole thing, so I'll go down quick. Here are the 20 business ideas right here.
Okay, so that's
I'll also
on top of all of the research, it's now made recommendations for you, personalized based upon your unique situation, and given you 20 business ideas.
for each idea, it gave me a low ticket first offer, a traffic generation model, a high ticket back end, the core problems we're solving with the business, and any additional attributes. And it did this for 20 different businesses. I'm going to speed run them because at the bottom, it condenses them into a table. Personally, when I am ideating and I'm coming up with new ideas, I ask whatever AI I'm talking to put the ideas into a table. It makes it really easy for me to compare and contrast different, especially when I'm doing business models or coming up with new products or something. I find that to be very helpful. So I asked it to summarize the findings for quick reference as a table, the 20 ideas.
Well, let's pick one that, let's say somebody was a little bit newer. Is there one of those that jump out at you that would be a good model?
Yeah, there's I find print on demand when total beginners, total newbies are asking me
Oh, I
about
like
business. Print on demand is something I recommend. So here's a custom pet merchandise print on demand. This is something you could actually apply AI to.
Wow.
If you're asking for a custom portrait of someone's cat or something.
Shoot, we could use your brother's
I
business
went to the whole,
and apply that business model to it. With Nizzly, you know?
yeah. Here's another idea it came up with, which is a beginner friendly one. It's a pet tech review affiliate site. So blog /
Oh, that's
YouTube
cool. So just
reviewing pet
reviewing
gadgets.
pet products, just pet technology products, basically. Love it.
So here's what I did next, because we have a whole conversation that goes through stage 1, stage 2, and all the prompts we're going to show in this video. What I did next, I actually liked, so idea number 9. This is the dog anxiety solution kit. It's a $49 kit to help dogs with separation.
We have a dog
anxiety.
that could use that. Bodhi could definitely use that.
I like when I see offers that are real problems I've either experienced or noticed others experiencing. And Bill, do you remember when we were out to dinner and then we came back and we?
Oh yeah. So we came home after a night at dinner. We snuck up to the front door so the dogs didn't hear us, and we heard poor Bodhi inside the house howling because he missed us so much because we were gone too long. It sounded awful. It made heartbreak.
So that stood out to me. It was depressing. And I'm sure he's not the only one doing this. So I'm sure there's other people who'd really like to solve this problem. This stood out to me. The problem was I didn't think this by itself was very beginner friendly. You have to ideate a whole e-commerce project, find vendors, it's a whole thing. But what I did was I combined it. I said, I like 9, but it's not very beginner friendly. I would estimate it would take $500 to $1,000 to get started. But I also like 18, that was the pet tech affiliate site. So my idea was, why don't we start the affiliate site? Because that's something you could start for minimal investment as a beginner. So why don't we start the affiliate site, grow it, make money with it, build an audience with it, and use it as a launch pad for the second evolution of the business, which would be to launch the dog anxiety solution kit.
So I want to point something out here. So the way you're using this, so it's a combination of the prompts that we provide to prime the conversation, but you're also using this as it's intended, where it is a team of researchers essentially at your beck and call, and you just talk to them. Once you've primed it and used the prompts, now you can have just a conversation with that team and they'll guide you based upon all the research they did. And so I love the way you do that. You just ask it questions, give it, say, I like this, I don't like that, or I'm skilled in this, or I'm not skilled in that. I don't have a budget. You can just keep talking to it, and it will continue to do research and reference all the materials it's found and guide you along the way. Those of you who are unsure of what kind of product that you might want to put out there, this is an incredible process to follow along with this. So just again, grab your free copy of our deck with the prompts, and then just have a great conversation with the AI and have it guide you on making those choices.
So I asked its thoughts on my idea. It says that's a brilliant strategy. Then it gave me a little roadmap for how I would apply this over the course of 12 months, basically, for what it thinks is a potential 7-figure exit. Very cool. So here's what I said next. I said, okay, with this in mind, can you conduct another deep research session and analyze the scene for pet affiliate sites? Then come back and give me another table. I mentioned highlight tables of 20 potential affiliate sites I can start. Consider keywords, traffic, pain points, and other possible content sites that would attract people interested in the pet anxiety kit. If possible, could you even come up with domain name ideas and tech them to make sure they're available? So that it did exactly this. It asked me questions again. It really likes to do this. You don't have to do this every time. You can just say, I don't want to answer the questions, or do whatever you think is best. But I decided to answer the questions. Then it got to work. It took 19 minutes again. We can really quickly review the thought process, but see each step, see the websites it looks at. So here it's going. It's doing, I'm assuming it's doing keyword research at keysearch.co. It's looking at Reddit for user-generated content to see what people are thinking. It's doing more SEO research.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So, all right, let's see what did it come up with.
Yeah. All right. So here it's going to give us a pretty thorough breakdown for each affiliate site that it wants us to make. So the first one is calmcanine.com. Second one is petgadgetguru.com. I think the one I chose ended up being petwellnessguide.com. There's one thing that deep research messed up this time. I asked it did give me domain ideas, but I asked it to check them to see if they're available. Pet Wellness Guide, which is the one I think I chose, that I know that was not available.
Pushbutton AI does do that for you. So, by the way, a little teaser for those of you, if any of you out in the audience are familiar with my Pushbutton AI brand, we are about to release a completely push-button automated tool that does everything Nick is showing you on the screen here at the push of a button. So, more on that soon. But yeah, Pushbutton AI will soon be a deep researcher of its own, just like you see being done on the screen. And it checks for your domain names for you. It'll help you register and find out if the great domains are available. So, all right, perfect opportunity for a plug. So back to you, Nick.
Yeah, so here, I had to scroll way down to get through its 20 website ideas. I went with petwellnessguide.com. So I'm letting it know that in the next few messages, we will work on SEO content for the site. Got it? So now we're moving on to stage 2. We came up with the idea for our business. Stage 2 is where we drive traffic, and we're going to be driving traffic through SEO.
So now we're moving, as Nick said, from one to the next. You went from idea generation, and what we've done is we've encouraged deep research to do a bunch of research and put all of that information in its memory. So it is currently has all of this information in its short-term memory, and it is talking to you about all the research that it did. So it is now in a perfect state to then move on and start to get it to help you create content. And if you follow my training that I've been giving here on the channel, you'll know just how valuable great content is to get traffic. When you're first launching your business, there are so many ways you can use great content. And now Deep Research is going to help Nick create the content for his brand new business. And it basically does hours and hours and hours of work to create this content for you. And the quality is impressive. It is just impressive. So, and again, the prompts that he used are in the deck. So when you download it, you'll get the prompts that he's about to show you. But yeah, this is my first go-to strategy for traffic on any brand new business is to start with content.
So I'm reminding it for the SEO content we're about to produce. I'm reminding it to use this affiliate website as a launch pad for our future product, which will be the dog anxiety solution kit. So we want our content to be geared around people who have the problems this kit will solve. And I say, got it? Make sure it understands. So it says, got it. And it gives me a plan of its own, but we're honestly just going to ignore that. I think this is the first prompt in stage 2 where I'm telling you what I wanted to do. So if you scroll all the way to the top, I gave it one role. I wanted it to be a business advisor, expert market researcher, and online offer creation guru. Now we're kind of having it put on a different hat. Now we want it to be an SEO guru. Now I want you to act as an SEO expert specializing in pets for our affiliate site, petwellnessguide.com, which will be where we will launch our ecom product, the Dog Anxiety Solution Kit. Then I get into some technical stuff, and then I say, do you understand? And it says, got it. Then now I say, for our website, list the top 100 unspoken fears, frustrations, and goals of our audience. Focus on problem solved in pet wellness, anxiety, and overall behavior. So it asks me some questions. It loves to do that. That's actually a good sign. You want, when you're talking to an LLM, you want it to go back and forth and query you. If you want, you can ignore it, but I answered it really quickly. So here it goes. It did an 11-minute research session. This is hours and hours of research, and it did it in just 11 minutes. Real quick, I'll show you its thought process. So it looked on Reddit. It was looking at like people in Reddit talking about real problems they have and voicing real pain points they might have. It spent a lot of time on Reddit. And then it went on a forum, which I thought if I was doing research, that's probably one of the first places I would go. I would go to a specialized forum. So after doing all that research, it gave us what I asked for: 100 unspoken fears, frustrations, and goals that dog owners have related to pet behavior. I'll speed run this, but dealing with dogs issues has taken a toll on my mental health. I get defensive when people comment on my dogs.
And this is great because this goes right to the core of how I teach someone to launch a business, by understanding their market's deepest problems and where their emotional state is, and focus their product, whether it's a physical product or a digital product. You focus it all centered around the biggest goals, frustrations, problems, and the things that are really important to your market. And that's how you have a big hit business, by doing that. So that's perfect.
It would take forever to go over each of the 100 fears and pain points, but this is where it is. And you come down here and it says, combine the pain points, fears, frustrations, and goals to create 30 potential blog titles, mix formats.
So now you have 30 potential pieces of content. And you say blog posts, but that's really just the start. You can take that, create it as a blog post, but that content can be reutilized all over the place beyond just on your blog.
I just took the very first one on the list. I did separation anxiety in dogs, proven techniques to stop the panic. And I used that for the blog post that we ended up making. So here's what I did next. I asked it to generate 50 plus LSI keywords and subtopics related to our blog post title.
Reminder, all these prompts are in the deck. You'll be able to get them when you can download them. And I want to remind everyone what LSI keywords are. It stands for latent semantic indexing, which is a fancy word for what are the words that Google and the other search engines expect to see in expert content. That's what that means. But again, you can get the prompts. They're all in the deck. You'll be able to use them once you get that.
So the very next thing we did was I asked it to outline the blog post we're going to make and include those LSI keywords we just came up with. So this is the outline it came up with. This would be like a pillar post. This is a very comprehensive, really lengthy post, which is fine. So this is what it came up with. But if you noticed in the outline, it came up with these case studies. One case study was a senior dog's transition to a calm, crate-trained routine. This is something ChatGPT came up with. We don't want to fill our blog post with hallucinations or things that aren't actually true. Don't worry, I account for this in the next prompt. This is where deep research is going to come in handy. So gave me the outline. I liked it, except for it came up with stats and things like that. So here's what I did. I said, now write a first draft for our blog post using the outline. I say, when doing this, use deep research to search the web for statistics, claims, anecdotes, stories, case studies, etc. Do not hallucinate or fabricate concepts to include in the blog post. Instead, use deep research to search the web to find real concepts to write about in the article. Include all of the LSI keywords you came up with earlier in the blog post, and then I added this because I really wanted to talk about CBD. I didn't want to include that, so I said take out any parts that mention CBD. So it asked me some questions. I actually just ignored the questions, and I just asked it to do it again with a slightly modified prompt. I did this a few times. And then it went out and did it. It did this is a shorter one. It did a 9-minute research session, looked at 20 sources. Yeah, here's where the article starts. So here's the title we came up with, the introduction. But you know what? It's linking a lot. These are real. This is a study. This is from Medical News Today.
Yeah. Well, so how many? Did you check how many words it generated?
No, let's do that. Actually, I'll check right now. It's pretty lengthy though.
Yeah, that looks like a really good quality piece of content. Yeah, that's very lengthy. That's a great pillar post. Yeah, that is a fantastic pillar post.
This is just the first draft. There we go. So word counter, 10,000. That's crazy. 10,000 words.
Wow. Yeah, that is an amazing piece of content. You could probably just take that piece of content and mine it for sub blog posts just out of the content and just keep talking about the same concepts that huge pillar post You could probably take each subsection and spin it off into its own article.
So remember how I asked it in the outline? It basically made up fake case studies, and I didn't want it to write about fake case studies. We don't want to lie to people. So I asked it to go on deep research and look up real case studies. And I double checked these before the show. These are real case studies. So went and replaced the fake studies using deep research. This is a real one. Emma the Beagle.
Oh, I love that. So it did the research and found real, truthful case studies that talk about these strategies and tactics and products and things. That's awesome.
Yeah, I found 3. So this is Max. I think he was a Labrador Retriever. This is Emma the Beagle. It even found a story on Reddit. But that's all I wanted to touch on.
Okay, fantastic. So as you can see, this created incredibly high quality content, something that in order to do the level of research and writing and everything else that it has done would take many, many, many hours. One of the things that I want to let you know is that deep research is currently released in OpenAI. I know the first round that they released it to was the pro users, and they're now rolling it out to Plus and Teams, I think are the next 2 that they're going to be releasing it to. If you don't yet have access to it, if you're in a Plus plan, what is Plus, $20 a month?
Yeah, Plus is 20, Pro is 200.
If you don't yet have it in your Plus account, know that OpenAI has said they are rolling it out to Plus. You may not have it at the time right now. If you don't, it will be coming to you soon, and it's going to be available to Plus and Teams. Otherwise, if you want to spring for the $200 a month for the Pro plan, you can. But one other thing I just want to remind everyone is that our very own tool called Push Button AI takes what Nick just showed you and makes it push button simple. We are about to release an update. At the time of us recording this, the update is about to be released. It's not yet released, but it's coming. And it does all of the deep research and uses what are called agents, just like OpenAI is doing here, to automatically go out and create amazing content for you. So this is a push button AI feature that is coming soon. And if you'd like to learn more about that, I'd encourage you to schedule a demo. So you can go to pushbutton.ai/demo. So you can go there to book a demo, and hopefully by the time that you get your demo, that will be released and you'll be able to see that in action yourself. But as an example, what Push Button AI will help you do is not only help you build your business and do the research in your niche markets, but when it's time to actually create your content and your lessons, we really have a business model that we recommend where you create courses and lessons and trainings and give those things away to attract leads and subscribers and customers to your brand. And what we're going to do is the deep research will be done not just for your entire course, the title of your course, what all the lessons should be, and then even the content that goes into those lessons are all going to be researched by your own swarm of AI agents that go out and do what you just saw deep research do. So again, a little plug for that. You can go to pushbutton.ai/demo to book a demo and see that. And we take what you just saw and make it push button simple. Now, before we end off today, we have some bonus training. We're going to be talking about a really powerful traffic strategy. It's a very powerful business strategy, and that's to use a newsletter. So that is to get people to subscribe to your brand, to your company, to your official newsletter, like our very own Ingeniosity newsletter is a good example of this. And then you've found a really amazing use of deep research to help you make newsletters. Let's show them how it works.
This is an idea from McKay Wrigley on Twitter, and it's a pretty genius use of deep research. I'll read what he says real quick. He says, a great use case for OpenAI deep research is a one-stop daily news report prompted with general rules, personal bio, your interests, preferred sources. It'll generate a comprehensive news report, 100% customized to you. This is how I'll get my news now. Full prompt below, and we'll link to this tweet in the video so you can see how he did it. But I thought this was a really cool, see, he has the prompt here. It's pretty comprehensive, and I thought we couldn't not cover it today.
Well, and there's 2 ways to use this, right? So you can use it just as he did in his Twitter feed there, right? Which is to get your own daily or weekly digest of what's happening in your industry or in your hobby or for your own personal consumption. But I personally think, what a great way to create newsletter content. Why not run this exact same process to then use in your own newsletter that you can then share with your customers and your subscribers? So that's the way I would make that little tweak to how to use this to turn it into a profit mechanism. And so let's see, what did it come back with? Let's take a look at the news briefing.
Yeah, so real quick, it thought for 8 minutes, looked at 22 sources for me, looked at Reuters, looked at all kinds of places. Here's what it came up with. And this is for today. I actually did it 3-ish hours ago. So this is breaking news, what's happening today. They talk about DeepSeek. They talk about NVIDIA, Microsoft news, I mentioned I like AI, so it's talking about a lot of AI. Then it gets into politics and general business use. It's talking about the tariff wars. It's talking about IPOs in Asia. I really like growth hacking and startup growth, so I asked to talk a little bit about that. It talked about like funding, like VC funding for startups, and even talked about politics going on in America right now. So I didn't even know this. Yeah, when it comes to most AI content, I don't know if I would just take the first draft it gives you without looking, but this is incredibly helpful. I would most certainly use like 80% of this in a daily
Oh,
newsletter.
fantastic. So for those of you, I know we have a lot of people interested in that business model, and this becomes a new way, whether you're doing a weekly or a daily, to be able to compile a bunch of information together that you can then use for your own newsletter. So that is pretty cool. So that is our bonus strategy for this training. And I would love to hear what your biggest questions are out there. Those of you watching this video who are still here, I want to know, what are your biggest questions, concerns, difficulties in using this strategy for your own business? Drop those in the comments down below. We'll be hanging out down there to help you and answer all of your questions. And I do want to thank producer Nick. So Nick, thank you for your help in today's video. And with that, I'll take over here for a moment. But I want to remind you that many of these features that you see in deep research with the swarm of agents that go out on the web and do research and do all of this stuff, they're all being built into our platform, Pushbutton AI. So if you're curious for a platform that you can use to build your entire business, you can start out with just an idea in your mind. You go to Pushbutton AI, it does the deep research for you, looks up all the research and sources and finds all of those tools and services, compiles it all together, and it will help you build a business and all of your content. So if you'd like to learn more about that and see it for yourself, go to pushbutton.ai/demo to book your demo session and learn more about that. And I think it will help you a lot in your journey as an entrepreneur, but see it for yourself so that you can decide. Maybe you can join our early access program. Our team thinks it's a good fit. We'll invite you in and you can get access to the tool. So again, just book your session, pushbutton.ai/demo. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up this video. So I want to encourage you that if you'd like more training like this, smash that subscribe button that you see down there and give the video a thumbs up. It definitely does help the algorithm when you do that and help push this video out so more and more people can see it, which I would be eternally grateful if you did that. And then on top of that, I definitely want to see your questions. So questions, commentary, or anything at all, drop them down below the video. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye for now. You may or may not know, I have an AI tool that's a company called Pushbutton AI that helps people build course businesses. It builds the whole business, bottom to top. It helps you do the research to pick the niche market, helps you figure out what topics you should write about, what your course should be about, what the lessons should be about. It outlines the lessons. It writes the whole thing. It creates your sales page. It creates your page to get leads to subscribe to your business. It even writes your email sequence. It does audiobooks, video trainings, and a whole lot more. You just answer 2 questions and you hit a button, and it does it all. If you're interested in that, certainly you can book a demo to see it for yourself. You'll see with your own eyes. We're often running webinars and other trainings as well, so I'll drop links to either our webinar or our demos down below so you can check it out and see if it's something for you. But I found that most people get really overwhelmed and frustrated with the technical stuff. So that's why we created Pushbutton AI. If you're looking for a tool, we'll just do it for you, and it'll just handle the technical stuff. So when it comes to like setting up your web hosting, registering a domain name, setting up your email marketing, we even include a complete, fully functional email marketing platform that you can log into and email all of your customers and subscribers. It's all included. And all of the tech setup is done by the AI. If you want that, then definitely schedule your demo. You can get a demo from us by going to pushbutton.ai/demo. Now, at the time of recording this video, Pushbutton AI is not publicly for sale. But if you book a demo, they'll show you the technology. And if it makes sense, if it's something that can really help you, they'll invite you into our early access program. But what they'll do first is show you the technology. They'll talk about what kind of a course you might want to make. They'll talk about your business plans. They'll help guide you on what the right choices are for creating your first course business. And then if it makes sense, if it's the right tool for you, they'll invite you into the early access program. But check out the demo. It's mind-blowing. Again, that's at pushbutton.ai/demo. That's pushbutton.ai/demo.